The Trump cabinet now set, and Democrats in Washington and all their friends in the media still have no idea what went wrong. They have no idea why Kamala lost. They don't know what's happening, something the average American knows implicitly. I bet if you stopped somebody on the street and randomly asked, why did Kamala Harris lose the election, you'd get the same answer from just about everyone. Kamala was not a good candidate, and the party has just completely lost its way. This weekend, the mayor of Denver, Colorado, stating unequivocally that he would go to jail to save illegal aliens that have committed crimes in his city from being deported. Take a listen.
Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that.
Okay, so, sir, you are the problem, and you are the reason that Kamala lost. You just stated publicly out loud that you value the safety of criminal illegal aliens over the people of Denver, and that is why Kamala lost. In Massachusetts, it's getting worse. The governor and the mayor of Boston have both publicly stated that they will work against Trump border czar Tom Homan to protect the rights of criminal illegal aliens. Listen.
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. Every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents.
We are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear.
Okay, and that's why Kamala lost. Since September, in the state of Massachusetts, again, a small state about 1,500 miles from the southern border in Texas, the number of migrant arrests is absolutely staggering just over the last couple months. Starting on September the 3rd, a Brazilian migrant was charged with sex crimes. A day later, a Haitian migrant was charged with sexual assault. On September 6th, a Guatemalan migrant was charged with rape. 10 days later, a man from El Salvador charged with rape. That same day, 2 more migrants arrested for alleged sex crimes. A day after that, a Brazilian migrant charged with sex crimes. On September the 24th, a Guatemalan man was charged with sexual assault. That same day, another man from Guatemala charged with a sex crime. The next day, an illegal migrant was charged with rape and assault, and we are still in September. Let's go to November. In November, a man from Brazil, Colombia, and Guatemala have all been arrested in Massachusetts for sex crimes and alleged child rape. These are the worst people on the planet, and they are all here living among us, and that is why Kamala Harris lost. People are tired of being treated like they do not matter, and Maura Healey and Michelle Wu are saying that part out loud, that they care more about criminal illegal aliens than they do about the people of Massachusetts, and that is why Kamala lost on November the 5th. The American people want these people gone, out of the country. It's not unambiguous. There is no gray area around this issue. Poll after poll proves that the American people want these people gone. Poll after poll proves that the American people support deportations. But Democrats and their friends in the media just don't get it. Why do you think that Donald Trump won the election? He campaigned on this issue. He was open about it. This is common sense. And he campaigned on this common sense issue and so many others, and that's why he won, and that's why Kamala lost. Donald Trump told us out loud every day what he was going to do. A CBS poll out over the weekend found that 57% of voters support mass deportations. 57%. In October, a Marquette poll, that number was at 58%, supporting the deportation of illegal aliens. Also in October, an ABC Ipsos poll, 56% of the American people support deportations. If you want to go back to June, fine. Look at that number. CBS YouGov, 62% of the American people support deporting illegal aliens, and you wonder why Kamala lost. There it is right there. It was always right there in black and white all along, and Democrats just ignored it, and the media ignored it and lied to you, just like they ignored everything else. Think about how you feel when you walk into an airport. After you go through security, yeah, it's stressful, but it's one of the safest places you can be because everyone that's gone through TSA has a ticket. They've been searched and screened and gone through security. Security knows who you are. They also know where you're going. Now think about how you feel walking around the streets of Boston or Denver or New York City, where we are right now. We have no idea who these people are, and we have no idea what they're going to do or what they might do. And Americans just do not feel safe in their own country. Do you remember when Joe and Kamala sued the state of Texas for putting in that massive floating barrier in the Rio Grande River? Well, they said it was inhumane. That's what the administration said. And they forced the state of Texas to take that barrier down. And that's why Kamala lost. All right? That's why she lost. It's unbelievable. Donald Trump, what he said when he came down that golden escalator in June of 2015, he was right.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
That was almost a decade ago. My goodness, he was right. Are they bringing drugs? Yes. Yes, they are. We've had more fentanyl overdose deaths in 2023 than any year in history, almost 300 a day. Are they bringing crime? Yes. Are they rapists? Why don't you ask the parents of Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungry or Rachel Morin about that? And yes, I'm sure some are good people, but that is why Kamala lost right there. On the trans issue, again, Democrats in Washington and their friends in the media have completely abandoned common sense. The Boston Globe posting on X over the weekend, quote, Seth Moulton's post-election remarks on transgender issues ignited a firestorm, but also highlighted an issue that continues to bedevil researchers. Do trans female athletes competing in women's sports have a competitive edge? Bedevil researchers? Are you serious? Do men have an advantage over girls in girls' sports? That's a topic that is currently bedeviling researchers. Guys, and to all the researchers out there, I'm going to save you a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of money. The answer is a very simple yes. Men have an advantage over women in women's sports. No, men should not be allowed to play women's sports, and there shouldn't be anything confusing about that. Take a look at some of these photos right here and ask yourself, who's got the advantage in women's sports? The girl in the photo or the guy dressed as a girl on the right there? For the last 2,000 years, no one questioned anything that I just said. But suddenly, Leah Thomas wanted to wear a one-piece, and we've all got to adjust to her. I don't think so. That ends on January 20th. The trans issue in the military also seems to befuddle Democrats. Take a look.
There are still far too many people out there, not just LGBTQ individuals, that feel marginalized, shut out, or discriminated against. So for all of you out there, I ask you to set out your symbols of pride, share your pronouns in your email, particularly if you're a person who doesn't think they need to.
And we wonder why recruitment has dropped in the military for the last 4 years. Are we serious? We wonder why Russia invaded Ukraine and why Hamas attacked Israel. Maybe it's because our military seems to have lost a little bit of its focus over the last few years. We went from being the greatest generation fighting in wars to a generation right now more concerned with lip injections and hair lowering, which evidently is a thing. Take a look.
Not a day goes by that I'm not grateful to be serving at this period of time. Being able to undergo a full gender transition beyond hormones, laser hair removal, Botox, lip injections, hair lowering, like literally.
Okay, that's why Kamala lost, right there. She lost because her party is lost, and instead of really caring about you, Democrats are wildly concerned with things that just do not matter, to the point where parents are now doing this. Take a look.
Your next question might be, is Sparrow a boy or girl?
Can I see Elmo?
The answer, to be determined.
My own mother did not know Sparrow's genitals for the first 3 months, even though she was living with us at the time.
You're doing so good.
Sparrow's parents decided to raise their baby gender neutral, meaning Sparrow will decide gender when older. Even Sparrow's birth certificate says sex unknown.
Okay, I feel sorry for Sparrow. I really do. 99% of the country understands that there are two genders, male and female. That should not be controversial. But for some reason, over the past 4 years, Democrats and all their friends in the media seem hell-bent on erasing women. And that is why Kamala lost. The media, of course, perhaps the most lost of all. But in certain moments, it feels like just for a moment, they might be getting back a little bit, and then I pick up the paper and I read Heather Cox Richardson over the weekend, and I snap back to reality immediately. This is what she wrote, quote, "Since the night of November the 5th on the election, Donald Trump and his allies have insisted that he won what Trump called an unprecedented and powerful mandate. But as the numbers have continued to come in, it's clear that such a declaration is both an attempt to encourage donations and an attempt to create the illusion of power to push his agenda." Heather, I am sorry, but you just don't get it. And I'm not even going to make an argument for why Trump won a landslide, because you wouldn't get that either. But we both know that in your private moments, when you close your laptop, we both know what happened on Election Day. And you are another reason why Kamala lost. This election was 3 weeks ago. Another reason that Kamala lost, Norah O'Donnell. She's a reason why Kamala lost. So is David Muir. But there is good news. The healing is already happening. At a small university in Austin, Texas, students are being accepted to school based on their merit, not their skin color or their race or anything else that doesn't matter. And the results seem to shock 60 Minutes, who were confused when they saw so many well-adjusted white kids on campus.
As for admissions, UATX swaps DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, for what some call MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence.
Gender, race, ethnicity, what is the factor of that in your admissions decisions?
We don't take any of that into consideration in admissions.
I got to tell you, we did not see a particularly diverse student body.
We are putting resources into finding talent of an intellectual variety.
That's pretty refreshing, isn't it? Students getting into college based on merit, not based on DEI. Over the weekend, the criticizing of the Trump cabinet picks reached a new level, which is basically all the media has right now, which is sort of pathetic. But the argument loses all of its strength when you criticize every single cabinet pick. You can't criticize every one, okay? And again, before you knock a Trump cabinet pick, compare that person to their current counterpart in the Biden administration right now. I would take a houseplant, literally, like a ficus or a fern, over Alejandro Mayorkas right now. And that is why Kamala lost. And while the media spends every waking moment talking about Donald Trump cabinet picks, they call a Trump cabinet pick a rapist, before they dare call an illegal alien a rapist. That same CBS poll that I referenced a moment ago came out over the weekend. When asked if they approve of the Trump transition so far, almost 60% of Americans said, yes, I do. And that is why Kamala lost. They just don't get it. They don't get you at home. So to the Democratic Party, and I'm sure this monologue, they might play this at like a Democratic retreat at some point and be like, guys, you got to watch this. To the Democratic Party and to the media out there, the message should be crystal clear from the American people. Stop lying. People do not believe you anymore. Bidenomics did not bring prices down. The Inflation Reduction Act did not reduce inflation. Kamala Harris was not a good candidate. Joe Biden should have dropped out of the race like a year and a half ago. The American people do not support a wide open southern border. Cut it out with the woke and the DEI and the men playing women's sports. Stop lying to the American people, but maybe most importantly, for the future of your party, stop lying to yourselves. And that is why Kamala lost.